Welcome back. Now, if you have a child dealing with autism, this will be some good news. The UA Department of Pediatrics is currently conducting a clinical trial that aims to improve behaviors in children with autism.
Chani Preek and Dr. Sydney Rice are sitting down with us to explain how all of this works. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
So, Doctor, I'd like to start with you and really kind of let's discuss autism in general, what it really is.
So we will frequently say there's not autism, there's many autisms, and the other term you'll hear is that that autism is a spectrum. It's an autism spectrum disorder. And so as a clinician, I diagnose children with autism, I see them all the time, and one of my favorite phrases is, if you've seen one child with autism, you've seen one child with autism, because they're so different. However, stepping back from that, they all meet the criteria for the disorder.
Okay, and so when we're talking about this, we're talking about a spectrum. We're talking about there's many different kind of like levels and different degrees. So how really do we know how prevalent this is really in the United States?
We do. We have a very good idea from the CDC. I think probably people follow that. Every few years some new numbers came out. Just a couple of months ago, the new numbers for the country came out at 1 in 68.
1 in 68.
Okay. That's good to know. I had no idea, and so I'm really glad we're discussing this today. And Chani, actually, you guys are starting a clinical trial, so tell us about that.
So this is a phase 3 clinical trial. Phase 3 is the last phase before seeking approval in the FDA's clinical research process. This is for a biologic enzyme that's called CMAT, and CMAT, more importantly, has been designated the fast track, which means its drug application will be in an expedited review. And this is a 14-week trial for kids between the ages of 3 and 8 years old, where we provide autism diagnostic assessments. And that's important because some parents who might suspect that their child might have autism, we're able to administer the appropriate diagnostic assessments and see whether or not they answer that question, as well as see if they can qualify for the study. Participating in the trial involves having the family bring in the child into our clinic every 2 weeks over 14 weeks, and we monitor the child's progress at every clinic visit.
Well, I love that you mentioned that the child doesn't already have to be diagnosed. Mm-hmm. This is something we can actually do within this clinical trial. And so how does the drug work, or are we hoping that the drug will work?
So the way that the drug works is based on the idea that children with autism like a lot of carbohydrates, a lot of them, not everybody, and tend to avoid protein. And so this drug or food additive was designed to help children metabolize and break down proteins.
Wow.
So is there any other kind of drug out there right now that treats symptoms of autism?
Not in this way. We treat the signs of autism, so some children who have autism have some aggression or they're inattentive, and we treat that. But it's not really treating them at a biological basis. This is based on the idea of the gut-brain connection, that when there's something going on in your gut, it may affect your brain. And so this is that idea that if we can fix whatever is not being metabolized correctly in the gut, maybe we can improve how kids feel and maybe behave.
That's so interesting. I find this to be very interesting. Now, is this the only site that's taking part in this trial, or are there other sites?
There's approximately about 25 sites that are across the United States that are taking place, participating in this trial. Our site in Tucson, there's another site in Phoenix, and then most of the other sites focus on the East Coast, with some on the West Coast as well.
So we're very lucky to have this here.
Definitely.
Well, I know we're almost out of time, but really quick, anything else we want to add to this discussion about CureMark?
I think that really importantly, we haven't found any significant side effects, and so it's maybe worth a try if someone is interested.
I think that's amazing. I'm actually going to give the parents the information on how to get a hold of you if they're interested in being part of this clinical trial. Ladies, thank you so much. This was so interesting today, and how we're tackling this. I want to thank you again.
Thank you.
Absolutely. To find out if your child qualifies for the autism study, call 626-1994 or visit their Facebook page for more information at facebook.com/ArizonaLendResearch.